Every day, Donald Trump continues to prove that he's an increasingly erratic president who's unfit for his job, and now he's apparently working even fewer hours and neglecting urgent issues. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Since the publication of Fire and Fury, the explosive book about his first year in the White House, President Trump has been battling the growing impression that even his closest aides believe him to be dangerously unfit for office. And they obviously have a very strong case, since Trump knows virtually nothing about the job. But you would think that a man who ran on a platform of pure patriotism and who spent months lecturing athletes about respecting the national anthem would at the very least know the words to the anthem. And yet Trump seemed lost as he tried to sing along to the anthem before last night's National College Football Championship. Oh my God, Trump sings the national anthem the way the rest of us sing Despacito. Despacito. Seriously, how can you be president and not know the words to the national anthem? That's like Peyton Manning not knowing the words to the Nationwide jingle. Nationwide is some. Now, just 2 weeks into the new year, Trump faces a series of urgent tasks that deserve every ounce of his attention. From keeping the government open to protecting DACA recipients to fully funding the Children's Health Insurance Program to providing electricity to millions of Puerto Ricans who are still without it. And yet, he's apparently spending even less time working than he did before. The website Axios obtained Trump's private schedule, not the public ones that his staff puts out, and found that President Trump is starting his official day much later than he did in the early days of his presidency, often around 11 a.m., and holding far fewer meetings. This is largely to meet Trump's demands for more executive time, which almost always means TV and Twitter time alone in the residence. Sorry. He starts his day at 11 a.m.? Is he the president or a lunch waiter at Olive Garden? All I do is make fun of him, and I still have to be here at 9 a.m. Just take Trump's private schedule from this week as an example of how little he works. On Tuesday, Trump has his first meeting of the day at 11 a.m. He then has executive time for an hour, followed by an hour lunch in the private dining room. Then it's another 1 hour, 15 minutes of executive time, followed by a 45-minute meeting, then another 15 minutes of executive time before ending his official day at 4:15 p.m. On Thursday, the president has an especially light schedule. Policy time at 11 a.m., then executive time at 12 p.m., then lunch for an hour, then more executive time from 1:30 p.m. Oh my God, Trump might be our first president who works so little he technically qualifies for unemployment. It's like Trump isn't even the president. He's more like Mike Pence's out-of-work friend who has to crash with him for a while till he gets back on his feet. He's the Dupree of the White House. Deep cut. It's a deep cut. Trump, of course, not only defers all major policymaking to his staff and Republicans in Congress, he's also so fragile and erratic that he needs those same people to go on TV and lavish praise on him, as senior policy advisor Stephen Miller did on Sunday in this now infamous interview with CNN anchor Jake Tapper.
The reality is the president is a political genius who won against a field of 17 incredibly talented people, who took down the Bush dynasty, who took down the Clinton dynasty. All these so-called political geniuses in Washington, whether it be at the big lobbying firms or
the only
many
person
of the
who's called himself a genius
Congress,
in the last week is the president. But
which happens to be a true statement.
Okay.
A self-made billionaire who revolutionized reality TV and who has changed the course of our politics.
He's watching and he's happy that you said that.
I would be with the president on a campaign plane with a rally in 20 minutes, and he would be able to
You've already made this point, Stephen.
He'd be able to come up with material.
Yeah,
in
you've
the
already
blink
made this,
of an eye
you've already said that.
A self-made billionaire revolutionized reality TV and tapped into something magical that's happening in the hearts of this country.
Ugh. I'd say Stephen Miller has a boner, but he already is one. Seriously, he looks like someone slapped a couple of googly eyes on a penis. Seriously, is there anyone creepier than Stephen Miller? He wasn't born, he just appeared after someone read an Edgar Allan Poe story into a cracked mirror. Also, can we go back to the first part of that clip for a second?
The president is a political genius who won against a field of 17 incredibly talented people, who took down the Bush dynasty, who took down the Clinton dynasty.
There's nothing worse than someone who pronounces it dynasty. Miller claims he's in touch with the working class, but he pronounces words like a British dandy. What's next? You can tell us Trump checks his mobile for his schedule so he can have some privacy during his leisure time. To borrow a phrase Stephen Miller might use, Stephen Miller is a wanker. With googly eyes. Obviously with googly eyes. Also, can I just say, I'm tired of this talking point Trump and his toadies keep repeating that he beat a field of 17 incredibly talented people. He did not. Let's not forget the field he ran against included a narcoleptic, a malfunctioning robot, a sentient butter sculpture, and a guy who was almost suffocated by his own hoodie. And when Trump's sycophants aren't available to go on TV and stroke his ego, Trump does it himself. Yesterday, he flew to Tennessee to sign an executive order and speak to the American Farm Bureau. And at one point, he needlessly lashed out at the media and told the crowd to look up his Twitter account.
I will sign 2 presidential orders to provide broader and faster and better internet coverage. Make sure you look up @real Donald Trump, right?
I'm sorry, but it just strikes me as unpresidential to plug your social media accounts. He sounds like the end of a YouTube video. If you thought this speech was dope, please like and subscribe for more sick content. One of the details Trump's aides have repeated about him to show that he's mentally unfit for his job is his penchant for repeating the same handful of stories over and over. And yet again yesterday, he rambled on about his 2016 election victory and reminded the crowd of his position on guns.
We're restoring the rule of law and protecting our cherished Second Amendment.
Why are you making the hand motion? They know what you're talking about. The way Trump abuses the First Amendment makes me want to take advantage of the 21st Amendment. Trump is like a guy playing charades who doesn't realize he's not allowed to speak. Movie, 2 words, Star Wars. Boom, we did it. That was so fast. But it isn't just that Trump is growing increasingly erratic, he's also becoming more lawless. After repeatedly hectoring his Justice Department to investigate Hillary Clinton, it seems the DOJ is now doing exactly that. And on top of that, yesterday the Trump administration announced that it was cruelly ending a humanitarian program that allowed 200,000 people from El Salvador to live here for more than a decade. He's working fewer hours and neglecting the basic responsibilities of his job, and yet he's still desperate for praise. In his speech yesterday, he rambled on about the election and his administration's attempts to roll back regulations and insisted to the audience that they were happy he won.
We're streamlining regulations that have blocked cutting-edge biotechnology, setting free our farmers to innovate, thrive, and to grow. Oh, are you happy you voted for me? You are so lucky that I gave you that privilege.
He's so gross. I never thought I'd say this, but bring back Stephen Miller. This has been A Closer Look.